Tsmc Thursday. We should have had this on the calendar, boys. Tsmc Thursdays. I smell a market rip on Friday. Gents, and ladies, how the heck we doing? How the heck we doing? W day or L day? W day or L day? How we doing? How we doing? How the heck we doing? Y'all know I gotta play my track before we start stream.
Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't
gotta
really
play my
care
track,
about
get
how you
hyped
feel
up before
about
stream.
it. I mean, I don't even really have a real
Tryna
hobby.
make $1 billion
It's not a real
moves.
problem, and I still got it. I need
$1
$1
billion.
billion. Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even really have a real hobby. It's not a real problem, and I still got it. I need $1 billion. Yeah, I've been in the lab, so I'm not one you see around. Thinking about my goals, so I'm not fun to be around. Now I want the whole field, ain't no bush to beat around. I take it to the sky, so I don't ever see the ground. Wild call by, you can say I'm in the hunt now. Living out my fantasy, they love it when I touch down. Flyer than a plane or a pelican, I'm up now. Money, true holiday, I'm playing for the Bucks now. I'm out in BK, Steve Nash. I don't see much, man, I only see cash. You can't be mad, you need to relax. And my favorite drug is hustle, I'm about to relapse. I'm getting all this money just from making these apps. Hope they take care of my hood when I'm paying each tax. I'm managing my waist, so they saying he's trash. But they look me up on Google, they be keeping these tabs. Let's be real about it. I mean, I don't really care about how you feel about it. I mean, I don't even
Turn that mic on, how we doing? Y'all like it?
And I still
That's our little track, that's our soundtrack, Jack. That's our soundtrack. We need $1 billion. That's our soundtrack, Jack. We need to take this from $400 to $40 billion. All right? Hey, y'all, welcome to TSMC Thursdays. The markets gifted us a gift today. We had a incredible semiconductor beat. And It's a lot going on. And I think it's the first of many dominoes that are going to be falling in the right direction, because I am not seeing anything slowing down this AI demand. All right? But first, let me address the Shred Lords in the chat. Edwin, how the heck you doing, Shred Lord? Jason, the freaking GOAT, how are we? Chris, the vibe coding PE teaching legend, how the heck we doing, y'all? For Lauren, the absolute enterprise minded beast, how are we doing, guys? How the heck we doing? Happy TSMC Thursdays. It's a special edition. TSMC Thursdays, just for the boys, All right, we got to dive into TSMC Thursdays. We got to review what happened with earnings. We got to check out the stock. We got to talk. Oh, so much to talk about, bro. So much to talk about. Make sure y'all smash that like button if y'all ain't subbed up yet. I don't know what the heck y'all doing. But where should we begin? How's y'all day? Day's good? I see Jason had a W day. Give me some W's. Before we kick off with some deep smart money moves, anybody, can I help anybody with anything? Is anybody in a position where they need some help from Kenny Finance, huh? Rich topic, let's go. Yes, sir. W Day still working. I swear, I don't think Rich Topic takes a day off. Guys. I mean, this guy is always on it. I'm going to call you Mr. Chase the Bag perpetually. Rich Topic, a.k.a. Mr. Chase the Bag perpetually. That's my man. All right. So I'm hoping everybody had an incredible day. I'm hoping you all got a little bit of momentum because we're headed into the weekend. So like that Thursday, Friday, junior bump, I hope you all got that. If you had a chance to move your body, W. All right, whether that's taking a walk, whether that's working out, or whether that's riding a bike to work or walking to work instead of driving, like W setup. Because as we all know, health is wealth if you're going to be a smart money shred lord. All right? Still making smart money moves as we speak. I love that, Edwin. I freaking love that, bro. Hey, Edwin, let's see $1 million this year, huh? How about that? Let's see $1 million this year. I'm manifesting that in abundance for all of us. Let's hit a freaking $1 million, all of us. Hey, bro, how can I set up my business on Paperwise? Because I've been working with DBA for a minute, but what can I do for my business look more professional? I got you. Oh, 150 million. Psh, maybe make it 200. Rich Topic, do you got an LLC and all that? First things first, set you up LLC, or I don't know what kind of like entity is the best for you, but make sure you like formalize it. If you want, I can get you a little promo code with Taylor Brands. Just DM me, I'll send you one. Formalize that. Open up a business bank account. Open up a business credit card. Make your business a website. Do the social accounts, all that jazz. Paperwise, that's the approach though. The way how my businesses are set up, my content is an S corp. My holding company is a Delaware-based C corp. We're acquiring this business and they are a S corp, little things like that. Yeah, just send me the DM. I got you. It's a good setup, man. I had my boy, actually Eric, when we were in Vegas, I helped him set up his entity. I'm trying to get him to make some content, so I made him a little content business. Hey, low key, keep this between us. Starting a business is like one of the greatest things you guys could ever do, tax wise, right? Because the tax law is designed to benefit business owners. I'm not saying to have sly or weird expenses and all that, but I'm saying that like expenses you would have had otherwise can have a really good fit and positioning under a P&L of a business. So look into that. Try to figure out what is it you're spending a lot of time on and working on that could theoretically be counted as a business and that you're attempting to generate revenue, aka side hustles or whatever. Set that up. Chris, I know you're a young bull, but like if you have parents and everything, like if, get them to open you up an LLC and like all the expenses related to your vibe coding, your marketing and all that, that is like, oh my God, is that my nephew? Oh my God, my nephew's in the chat, y'all. What the heck? W Cam. Oh my goodness. Bro, it is literally past your bedtime. It's 9:40 back home. But now you're here. Hey, W nephew in the chat. That's literally my blood nephew right there. He's got probably 18 minutes to make some smart money moves before he has to go to bed. I go to sleep at 10. All right, we got to get you some smart money moves, Cam. Everybody, give your best advice for my nephew who's in middle school, who wants to be a genius, who wants to design things, build things, have an incredible life, wants to take care of his family, wants to be a good kid, wants to be a good Christian. Give everybody, put your best life advice for my nephew Cam. And Cameron, welcome to the big boys table. You at the big boys table. You're at the big boys table. But you guys want to see my nephew's never stop learning? Y'all want to see a little something? My nephew low-key balling, low-key. Let me show y'all a little something. Hey, $2 from Hothead. Thank you for the dono. I appreciate you, legend. I appreciate you. Chris says, always looking to learning. Don't be overconfident and trust in Jesus. Facts. Edwin says, never stop learning. Facts. You guys know I'm like an investing fiend, right? And when it comes to like investing, like I made a bunch of really great investments. But I think easily like the coolest investment I ever made is probably into this kid's, let me make sure none proprietary is shown there. Look at this. Cam, here's your quarterly check-in. How can we see that? Ooh, chat, can y'all see? Oh, y'all can't even see. If I make it like this. How about boom? Can y'all see now? It's a flashbang. Y'all can't really see it, but that's an acorn. That's an acorn's. Oh, it's too bright. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, here. There we go. The best investment I ever made is setting up my nephew with an Acorns Early account. This kid's about to be crushing the market. I'm telling y'all right now, Cameron is already up 18%. 18%, and the kid's not even a teenager. He's out here beating public market hedge funds, and he's got that dog in him. That's awesome. Hothead, that's a really good question, man. What are your top mental models for decisions? I got a book for you, champ. Top mental models for decisions. I'm gonna give you a preview of what we're about to be talking about. But top mental models, I would say, we got a lot of stuff going on this. You should read this book. Poor Charlie's Almanac. This book right here goes through literally all of the key mental models. Here you go, Hothead. All the key models from Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger, of course, is the number 2 at Berkshire Hathaway. He passed away, RIP. But he is one of the best mental model curators and collectors in the entire world. Because the best thing you want to do when it comes to having a sound mental model is to be able to remove bias, remove noise, have a sound decision-making framework, and to be able to remove your emotional, like psychological irrationality in making decisions. Like, think about it for investing perspective. You want to be able to look at a business, ignore all the noise attached to the markets, the economy, and everything, and think fundamentally about the business, think fundamentally about the management team, think fundamentally about the product or service. You want to then also be able to ignore your passion towards the prospect of that business and simply keep it to the facts. And then you want to have the discipline to stick to your conviction when things go wrong and you know there's no misprice in the underlying asset. Right? Like imagine being Warren Buffett, having conviction in a business, having conviction in a management team, buying it, and then seeing your stock fall 30% a year after, and then buying more. You know how tough of a mental model you have to like run that kind of shop? It's impressive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What y'all talking about? All right, what y'all talking? Y'all talking about some stuff. Cam, make sure you be checking in with these shred lords, all right? These your uncles too. These are shred lord uncles, man. All right. But W Acorns for having that account for the kids. If you guys have children, I recommend literally right now, open up a brokerage investing account for your kids. The best thing you could ever gift anyone in the entire world is the gift of compounding interest. The gift of extra time and extra years for their investments to work. Because Cameron has invested at the age of 10, 11, right? That's when he started. He's got like an 8-year head start on everyone else that's been investing. So his compounding journey is about to be insane when he's like 30, 40, 50, 60. Like insane, you know? But if you have nieces and nephews, you can open up accounts for them too. And then just build a habit of just like every time you get a paycheck, a bonus, put like a small percent into their accounts just to like protect their future. Especially if you're trying to break generational financial, curses and all that. If you want real generational wealth, set up those accounts for the young bulls. All right? Especially if you guys have kids. The second that you see a little mini me, K squared, little Kenny Jr., the second that baby pops out, boom, stamping and signing the brokerage account. So that kid's got 18 years of a head start. I am so dead serious. The second that I even think about having a kid, boom, I'm opening an account. All right? Literally. Before I even date a woman, I'm like, look, do you have the financial judgment to keep our kids' investments in the markets? Do you have the stomach not only to carry the child, but to also weather a market downturn and not sell? That's how we're rolling in this household. All right, but Jason says, whoa, this is a bar. This is a bar. Low key. It's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared. Cam, before you go to bed, I want you to read that one more time. And I want you to like really think on that. Really think on that, Cam. It is better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Isn't that incredible? Here's another version, because I was watching anime last night. You guys got me in my warrior mode. It is better to be a very skilled warrior, prepared for war, and not actually have to go to one, versus having to go to war and not being prepared to fight. Right? That's a better setup, ain't it? Jason, I might have butchered it, but does it make the... Oh, that's another analogy, because I had me watching all types of anime last night, y'all. Rib TV Original, how you doing, legend? Happy TSMC Thursdays, all right? We diving into the stock market. Hello, Kenny. I am a sophomore in high school. Rib TV Original. When I see comments like this of young bulls that are in high school, in college, checking in on the stream, that stuff literally fires me up. And I'm wondering, what did you do at my age? And is there anything that you would do differently? I'll tell you exactly what I did, because my nephew has 9 more minutes. And Cam, this is relevant to you. So Cam's mom is my sister. When I was a sophomore in high school, I stole my sister's social security number to open up a TD Ameritrade account, because I was not old enough to open one at the time, but I was obsessed with investing. Like I had that bug very early on, and I wanted to like trade and invest in stocks. So I like found like some papers that had, Cam's mom's important information on there, and I just opened up an account. That account probably still open. And every day after school, I would drive or walk to the local Southfield Public Library, and I would read every single investing book on the stock market, on real estate, on businesses, because those are free resource, right? They didn't have ChatGPT back then. That's back in the old days, y'all. That's when we had iPods, right? And actually like disc CDs, right? You go to the car, you got to put a CD in and play music. But literally, that's what I did every single day. And then I would come home, I would jump straight on my TD Ameritrade desktop. I would check out, the earnings. I used to make a play on earnings. I used to see like which businesses had earnings coming up that week, and then I would take a binary bet on whether it was going to go up or down based on earnings. And then after the markets closed, I would go to the public library and study. And I split my time half and half studying business and investing. That's what I enjoyed. But then the other half, I had to actually like do good to get into a college, and I couldn't afford tutors, and my family couldn't afford tutors. So I would like use their old free ACT prep books that the library offered, right? That's how I spent my time. I kind of made sure I did the work that I needed to get into a good college. And then secondly, I kind of fed my intellectual curiosity in the markets by learning as much as I can about investing in businesses. Yeah, that's right. Hey, join that dang Discord too. That's right, Chris. Get them right. Let me paste the link for the Discord for the Shred Lords. Let's get the Discord going for the Shred Lords. I see y'all going crazy in there. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all be going there, talking, helping out each other. This is a friendly fan. Make sure y'all join that Discord. I know, right? So, Richard, how we doing, man? Richard, the grooming legend. Yeah, and we got a bunch of young dogs in here. A bunch of Shred Lords, and I love it. It's the greatest thing in the whole world, man. And it's and for like the older guys, like I call us the OGs, grown men. It's a blessing for us to have this space to, one, keep each other inspired and locked in and focused, but then also just to like bestow knowledge, right? Like the whole point of the stream is literally to build in public. Like I'm literally going to show you guys how to take this $409 that we've got. Thank you, Hot Topic. And we're literally going to turn this to $1 million together by making intelligent, smart money moves. We're going to be buying great, incredible stocks. We're going to be hopefully using this to like buy some real businesses. We're going to be exploring real estate, little things like that. Like you are literally going to see brick by brick, step by step, building an empire, right? And we get to do that all together while having some high schoolers shadow us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the coolest thing in the whole world, I think. And I think that's like, it's a blessing to be able to, if we don't have the dollars to give, we at least have the expertise and the stories to get back to the young bulls. And then Rich Topic says, all these fools in high school, bro, y'all about to be so successful. Rich, this is free labor, right? That's the other thing. They're young and they got nothing but time. Put them to work. Rich, if you got a construction business and you got internships, make them kids work. You ain't got to pay them a dime. It's for the experience, all right? Humble them. Take them on the job sites, man. Have them doing some bidding and drafting, all kind of things. Put these young bulls to work. You know why? Because I have a thesis. I think that this young baby generation is soft. They don't want to work. They're iPad kids. They don't know how to pick up a pen and paper. They don't know how to get, I don't know. My nephew's an iPad baby. All right. I'm trying to show him how to be an old school OG. But Rich Topic, man. Put these kids to work, man. Get some dirt under their nails, all right? Hey, and Richard, hire some of these young bulls to start grooming some pets, man, on weekends, all right? For the resume. Hey, Cameron, shut your mouth. You literally are an iPad baby. You literally are. You were born, and the second you came out, you were watching an iPad. We're all gonna fly in chat capital jets. That's facts. You do work hard. You got my blood in you. You do work very hard, but you naturally are an iPad baby. Come slide to San Antonio, young bulls. I have the school starting up in June. We call that vocational training. Vocational training for the young bulls. Vocational training for the young bulls. All right, God bless, bro. Keep doing the YouTube because I'm surprised how you don't have 1 mil. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm a YouTube rookie, man. I'm 1 year and a few months in the game. So give me time. I'm gonna hit a mill in a minute. And don't worry, I'm about to be deep in my content bag as soon as this deal is closed. It's just like then being in private equity, it takes all my creative capacity away. It's like so annoying. It's tough, guys. It's like from being in the weeds of like stock purchase agreements and employment agreements and like looking at project management tools for engineering and design businesses. How am I supposed to create a next Ryan Trahan banger when I'm like spending 80 hours doing that? You know what I'm saying? So I gotta invest in the team to like help do more of my creative stuff and more of the boring stuff on the private equity side so that I can unlock. It's like literally two different sides of my brain. Like one side of the brain is just like hardcore business building, scaling, acquisition, margins, etc. And the other half is like trying to come up with like amazing concepts that demystify gatekeeping private equity stuff, you know, but also trying to make it super engaging and following like the format and coming up with thumbnails. I love it because it is an incredible challenge. Being a content creator is so hard. Why? Because like it's not an Excel formula that I can do. It's not a financial model I can build. It's not like a conference that I can just like rip and source businesses. It's literally like you have to create like either move like kind of like a little mini movie on a cool topic. And then you got to like see how the world likes it, you know? And it's really cool. But I never had to challenge that side of my brain when I was in New York because like it wasn't required. So now it's like I'm literally like my sophomore year doing this, and it's just like it's such a fascinating side of the brain to use. Fascinating side. But I'm gonna be at 1 million soon. Right now, what am I at? 47,677. It's not bad for 1 year in or 1.5 years in. It's not bad. It's not bad. All right, gents, we got can't miss your bedtime, dude. Make sure you get up, get early, read you some investment books, all right? And ask your friends about TSMC earnings. But boys, we got big stuff to chat on. What's happening in the markets? A lot of stuff is going on. The main headline. See ya. All right, love you, boy. The main headline is Asian stocks set record as tech rally powers on. This is super important because when it comes to AI earnings, the AI earnings season, the narrative is going to be, is demand slowing down? Are customers seeing an ROI? And where do you sense the next bottleneck? And where do you get a lot of that intel? You get that from looking at NVIDIA's earnings, and that comes out next month. Looking at TSMC's earnings, which is the second largest producer, I think. And then checking out some of the hyperscalers like Google, Microsoft, Apple, etc., to see where are they spending their dollars and CapEx dollars when it comes to AI, right? Because here's the narrative. If Google, Amazon, Microsoft, if they say, hey, we are no longer investing in AI, then there's no longer going to buy NVIDIA chips, then NVIDIA is no longer going to be investing in some of their supply chain partners, then the memory shortage is going to go away, and then everything else collapse, right? It starts with, is there still a ROI for AI implementation? And if so, how big is that demand for that, right? So this is kind of like a big deal because it's kind of like the first of the next few weeks of a bunch of earnings topics, And like, if you guys don't know like how earnings works, is every single quarter, a publicly traded business needs to hop on a public phone call that's broadcasted to the entire world. Anyone can dial in. We can dial in. We're going to dial into some later this month and early next month. But like anyone can dial into earnings calls, and you have to say, this is how much revenue we made, our profitability, this is what happened in our business, and here's our earnings, right? Because you're a publicly traded company, you have to kind of present what you did that quarter. And this is going to be, and you have to do that every single quarter. So the CEO speaks, the CFO speaks, etc. And then how investors, like a lot of hedge fund investors and a lot of value-oriented investors, how they sort of tap into this is they typically are like actually listening on the call, but I didn't listen on the call today. So I just found the earnings transcript. And this is like a cool thing that allows for you to like, look at all these ads they have. It's crazy. No. But it allows for you to like check in and see like what happened on the call. So as you can see, here's like the full transcript. They start off by kicking it off, and then they talk about their earnings. the CFO speaks, and then the CEO speaks and gives commentary. Where's the CEO? Yep, CEO speaks and gives commentary. But within this, there are so many golden nuggets that just talks about where are they spending their dollars in development, where are bottlenecks in their supply chain, like where are things like really, really, really important. So that's good. But let's look at the high level. And then they also come out with a presentation. They also come out with a very elaborate presentation that just talks about their earnings. This one's super simple, but like how much they made. And that's not really, this isn't that crazy relevant to us unless we have a position in it. But it, oftentimes, usually they give more context in this. This one's bare bones, so it's not that useful. But they also give presentations. And every publicly traded business does this. And as you can imagine, if you're covering a sector like semiconductors, like say, for example, Jason was covering semis, right? He's going to be listening in on every single one of these earnings calls across all of the players to start identifying patterns of what's happening and then start building his underlying model of what he thinks is going to happen in the future, right? That is hedge fund investing, y'all. That is how you play ball. And so here's like the earnings call transcript. But let's first see how, oh yeah, Rich, I'm cooking today. We're deep in the mix. This thesis building Thursdays with Tsmc. Let's look at how the stock performed overall. Yeah, I know it was a lot. Sorry. It was a lot, but I'll break it down very simple. I'll break it down very, very simple. Every business that has a stock that is public, you are required 4 times a year, every single quarter, to give a presentation on how you did. Plain and simple. And that presentation talks about the financials. There's usually a presentation and a public filing of all your P&L and balance sheet and cash flow statement. And then there's Q&A. And the Q&A is very important, right? I'll show you guys an example. The Q&A in this earnings call transcript, at the end, like after they give like their, hey, this is what we did this year, there are analysts that dial into the call and ask questions. And these are people that work in equity research, right? So here, this is this guy, Gokul at JP Morgan, right? Then there's this person, Gokul again at JP Morgan. And then there's Laura at Citibank. And they are asking the questions that are most relevant to hedge fund investors. Why? Because like the clients at Citibank and all the things are like the hedge fund investors that are trading every single day on their book, on their prime brokerage, right? So they kind of know what is the most needle moving questions in the market from all of the clients, all the hedge fund investors, all the institutional wealth managers. They kind of know like what the needle moving questions, and they get to go onto the phone calls and ask the CEO and the CFO on record, hey, what is happening with boom, boom, and boom, right? So that's the flow of an earnings call. Earnings call is every single quarter. The CEO and the CFO and the investor relations person hops on, presents how the company did, how much money they made, and what's going on in the business and the industry. And then at the end of that call, equity research analysts that work at Citibank, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, who also have all of their clients are hedge fund investors, they know the needle moving questions that's moving the market and that are the big debates and the big topics. And they get to ask the CEO and the CFO directly what their thoughts on it. And it all goes on record and it's all publicly available. And we just download the transcript and we get to read it. All right. We're going to do it like next week. I have an earnings calendar of the ones that I want to listen in on. So we're going to actually dive into this together and see one live and see what kind of questions they ask. But that's the flow of events. You see, I like this type of investing instead of the technical analysis. You actually read into a company, learning the ins and outs. Yeah, it's insane. It's so fascinating. It's so fascinating. And I've had some success with technical analysis, but it seems like doing fundamentals and reading and attending and sourcing is what actually big. Yeah, that's the big dog. That's the big dog. So Chevron's on the 30th. I think I added to my calendar, right? Last stream. Yeah, we're gonna study that all together. But okay, good. So let's get a sense of what is needle moving. They should have a summary up here, right? Also, let's just do we're gonna take this and we're gonna feed this into Gemini. I absolutely love how we're using AI here, guys. So paste this into Gemini. Please. Oh, where you at, Gemini? Oh, is Gemini tweaking? Please summarize this earnings call transcript as if you were Warren Buffett, focusing on the key drivers of the semis market and point out specific commentary that highlights choke points, bottlenecks, and in the supply chain, i.e. fab, memory, etc., and give the tactical play based on the context, and also summarize what's happening with AI demand simply based on the facts stated in this earnings transcript. Let's see if we can do that. Gemini! Come on, Gemini, for the Shred Lords, for the Shred Lords. This is cool, y'all. Nice. All right. Can you guys see? I can't really zoom in, so I'm kind of chalked. All right. In the eyes of a value investor, TNC is it's a high volume toll bridge. Boom. Every player in AI smartphones and high performance computing must pay their toll to advance. Price pattern. They aren't just taking whatever price the market gives them. Management stated they are earning their value by working with customers to ensure healthy returns. Good. The moat. Their technology leadership is so far ahead that most innovators are working with TSMC. Nice. That is a classic moat. Because they're large. Choke points and bottlenecks. Oh, I think I found us some theses, boys and gals. All right. So here's the choke points that they mentioned. Advanced wafer capacity, the core bottleneck. CEO admitted that capacity is very tight and they're working extremely hard to narrow the gap. Essentially, the world wants more chips than peers. Okay. What? Okay. Noted that while data centers worry about electricity, their customers say silicon from TSMC is a bottleneck and they need to solve that first. Okay. This one, AI isn't going deep enough. We need to go deeper. We need to go deeper here. Tactical play, circle of competence, check, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Double click into the choke points for the industry, not for TSMC. I want to know what suppliers does TSMC use that are facing intense backlogs and increase in pricing, etc. i.e. Boom. You gotta give Gemini the feedback to start thinking better. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Down. High bandwidth memory, advanced lithography, and back-end advanced packaging. Ooh, okay. So this is where we need to be. If AI is going to continue to boom, we need to find the best shortage, because those are the markets and the stocks that rip the best. All right. As you can see from SanDisk, we looked at SanDisk stock already, right? But memory. The memory market is currently facing an unprecedented shortage because high bandwidth memories used in every AI accelerator requires roughly 3 times the wafer area of standard DDR5s. Production of consumer ones is being cannibalized. Micron recently warned that it can only meet half to 2/3 of its consumer demand. Dang. SK Hynix, their 2026 HBM supply is already reportedly sold out. And then price hikes in AMD wafer prices have surged, with some categories increasing by more than 60% month over month. Wow. Okay. Now, TSMC's ability to build chips is entirely dependent on one company that holds a global monopoly. Hold on. We cooking? Yo, we cooking? Yo, we're making... Chat Capital is a hedge fund. Low key, Chat Capital is a hedge fund, y'all. ASML. As the sole provider of extreme ultraviolet lithography, ASML is the industry's ultimate strategic choke point. Backlog pressures, even with a massive upgrade in capital spending by foundries, ASML's order book remains a central bottleneck for scaling. The new high NA EUV machines cost roughly $300 million and $80 million each, and are extremely tight supply as Intel, Samsung, and TSMC race to secure them for their upcoming lines of chips. Oh. So the machines used to actually make some of these chips, people are running out of. Let's check out ASML stock. Let me check ASML stock. And this would be a good test to see, because this isn't like a brand new thesis. We didn't come up with anything original just now. Like, everyone knows this already. But let's see that if this thesis is correct, how ASML stock has been performing over 1 year. What are your guys' votes? Good? You think it's good or bad? Spam in the chat. Spam in the chat if you think that it'll be good or bad. Edwin says good. Edwin says good. All right. All right. Let's see. Because what I want us... Ooh. Ooh. 1 year, 83%. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's still a banger. That's still a banger. That's not bad. That means that, like, if we were to just like ask these questions earlier, or like kind of be like real time checking everything that like all the earnings calls, talking to all the customers and getting a pulse in real time, and then getting like the fundamental nudges from AI and Gemini, like we just did now, we could have been putting our money in about a year ago and boom. But what I like about this is that it hasn't been like an insanely crazy rip. Granted, this is a $500 billion company, so they're huge, right? I think AI is a little wrong. I think there are some similar lookalikes that are smaller. I think there are some ideas that we can get that are kind of similar to this. And here's one of them, AMAT, Applied Materials. They make some of the machines that are used by some of the semis and the chips and the memory folks, right? They've been ripping similarly, but it's half the size. And as you guys know, if folks run out of the big dogs, they typically go to the smaller dogs. So this one could have room to rip. I think we might pitch this one. I think I might pitch this one next week or something. So, ooh, we should see when the earnings is. February 12th. Okay, February 12th. Right? But it's cool, though, that, like, this platform here is well aware of positive theses. Like, it's not feeding us BS. It's not giving us a dumb idea. And it's not like a simple move that like everyone knows. You know what I'm saying? And there's more. All right. Advanced packaging. While the front end wafer fabrication is expanding, the industry is hitting a wall in the sophisticated assembly required to marry logic chips with memory. CAWA's capacity. TSMC is aggressively expanding its chip on wafer on substrate capacity to over 100,000 wafers per month, just to try and clear the massive backlog from accelerators. Ecosystem limits have shifted to viable areas, photomask and substrates. See, I never heard of any of these, right? So now we get to figure out who are the top photomask producers, who are the top substrate producers, right? Photomask makers are struggling to meet the 3M demands, while substrates are failing to keep up despite expanding their own factories. Huh. We're on to something here. Boom. And then supply chain and design. Okay, you can go with the design folks. Everyone heard about these already. But I like this part here. So who... Who are some of the photo mask and subtraits players we could invest in? Are they still mid shortage? Let's keep cooking. Let's keep cooking. This is so fascinating. And by the way, this is literally the exact job of a hedge fund investor. The only thing that's different is like you go to conferences and you speak to everyone about this stuff usually, or you hop on phone calls and talk to customers all day about this and just gather more data, more intel. Okay, we found ourselves a photo mask player. All right. And then what I also love is that you can take a step back. This sounds like an ad for Google Gemini, doesn't it? Is that you can take a step back and you can be like, what actually is a photo mask and substrates? Explain simply. Because I still don't get it. Think of a semiconductor as a high-tech city printed on a tiny piece of silicone. To build this city, you need a blueprint and a foundation. The photo mask is a blueprint. Is that stencil is a high-precision glass or quartz plate containing the master circuit pattern. Ooh. And then the substrate is the foundation. It acts as a bridge, taking a microscopic electrical signals from the chip and spread them out along dome. Okay. Why is a choke point? Modern AI chips, like those from NVIDIA, are physically huge and run very hot. They require an ABF substrate that may have layers of complex wiring. And there are only a few companies in the world that can do that. We're deep in the mix. I love this. This is so fun. Okay, now let's try to find these. Okay, so it said Phototronics P-Lab. Let's take another bet. How do you think P-Lab stock's gonna do? Ooh. Okay. And it more recent. Look how small this is. It's a $2 billion business. These things are always ripe to just do like crazy rips. You know? We might have found a crazy low-key small player that not a lot of folks are into. So there's one. Let's try to find a substrate one. These are mainly in Asia, though. This is really cool. Thanks, man. You know what we out here doing. Smart money moves. Ibidin. There's another one called Ibidin. Let's see. The only thing is some of these folks are Asia based. Yeah, like this one's based in Japan. So it's gonna be hard to like buy into this. But it's freaking up 252%. Oh my God. You know what really gets me going about this, guys, like why I'm so geeked about this, is that if you start with a thesis, you just keep digging in. And every time you keep digging in, you get more and more conviction as you're learning. You eventually get to the point where it's like, F it, we ball, bet everything on it. And then you bet everything on it, and you make 250% return because you did your homework. Or if we were freaking early, if I started streaming a year ago, my bad, y'all. And we did our research and found out that memory was like the hottest, choke point. Dogs, we could have been up 1,000%. The biggest thing that pisses me off about the market sometimes, is there's people out there making bread and I ain't got exposure. There's people out there making buku bread and I ain't got exposure. We got the same 24 hours as everyone else. We have all the same resources as everyone else. Maybe not like the proprietary ones. But why can we not dig in, find a thesis, bet it all on a name responsibly? And none of this is investment advice, it's life advice that the feds are watching, right? But why can't we do the same thing and like make these smart plays? Especially if you can generate alpha by working harder, being more diligent. That is what is freaking lit, bro. That's why I love the markets, is that if you have intense intellectual curiosity that is unwavering, there's no doubt about it that you can generate insane risk-adjusted returns and build incredible wealth. This literally says 1,000% return. There were investors over here that clipped a literal $1,000 payday and got out, probably, because it's too hot right now. Imagine if you put $1 million to work in that asset. $1 million to work. Just imagine, right? Let's say we had $1 million. Hold on. Boom, boom. Oh, that's the employee benefit census. Keep that for later. During my daytime, I gotta figure out how to get employee benefits for my employees. I'm out here getting healthcare for people. Hey, Spam, the best healthcare platform. I'm trying to get group health insurance for the boys and girls and their families. All right, but just imagine. Let's say, for example, we invested back in August. We had $1 million. We had 44.34. Okay. Let's not do a million. Not everybody got $1 million to put at work. Let's do 100,000, right? Let's say chat capital balls out and we have 100,000, right? Also, you know what's crazy, y'all? I've been thugging all year without health insurance, all 2025. It's very risky, right? So just imagine that. And then it grows all the way to today, $409 per share. Boom. That means you have that many shares, right? What we then do, we have the same shares, new share price. What is going to be our new AUM? Big body bands, remember I used to be dusty. We turned $100,000 into $922,000. Just imagine. Just imagine. In a year, in 1 year, off of one name. And we're still early in the AI play, so there's other things. So now, my thought is, maybe, just maybe, this could be something. Maybe P Labs could be a good name, right? Because now it seems as if AI is right, people need their phototronics. People are running out of phototronics, right? Something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Don't quote me on this. We got to do a lot of work. Before we actually pull the trigger on this, we got to do a lot of work. And what does a lot of work mean? We need to figure out their competitors. We need to figure out how they're performing. We need to figure out like all kinds of things. And Edwin freaking 7x his money on Coca-Cola. That's a dog right there. W freaking Edwin. Let's go, y'all. Wait, let's see. Because this stuff be going nuts. And what's nuts, though, is like I'm telling you guys, that's just off of 1 year. Just imagine if you, and keep in mind, if you're going to play the AI thesis, what you guys got to understand is that you need to play incredibly diligently. Like if you're going to invest in AI and anything in the supply chain AI, you need to have your eyes glued to that market like crazy. You need to be at every conference. You need to go to every single earnings call. You need to be having conversations with all the customers. You need to know the pulse, because this stuff will not rip like this forever. This is not a stock, or this Coca-Cola is, but like AI stocks and the different supply chain dynamics, it's all based on shortages. And the second that a shortage is closed, you will see a lot of reversals in these names. or no longer high crazy rip growth. So you got to be very diligent with this. These aren't like 20, 40-year holds like Buffett. You know what I'm saying? These are things that like Tiger Global, Julian Robertson, like Tiger Cubs are focused on. You know what I'm saying, chat? But something like Coca-Cola, bro, good market, bad market. AI, not AI. I'm drinking a Diet Coke, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking a Diet Coke. That's how we doing. That's how we doing it, y'all. And shout out to Edwin for buying this back in what, 2020? Absolutely crushing it, bro. Bought in 2022. I love investing. Congrats, bro. Congrats, man. So let us do our diligence. Let's try to figure out. Oh, let me go back to my Gemini. How to go back to my Gemini. All right. Okay. Now, everything you've told me based on the AI demand, choke points, right places, give me context, give me specific commentary from today's earnings call from Tsmc that directly touch on these. Not around the topic, but directly confirms the thesis. I love this, y'all. I'm having so much fun, by the way. Thank you guys for joining me. Smash that like button. Okay. Okay. All right. So on AI demand, while the market frets over AI bubble, CEO says that we used to call the bubble down on the reality of demand, citing the nervousness quote. Wei admitted that the scale of the investment is daunting but necessary. You're trying to ask us whether AI demand is real or not. I'm also very nervous about it. If we don't do it, there'd be a big disaster for TSMC. Okay. Well, that's a kind of a scary comment. Dang. The upgraded CAGR. TSMC officially raised its AI revenue CAGR from 2024 to 2029 to mid 40s, all the way to mid to high 50s. So revenue growth and demand is continuing to outpace real world utility. Wei noted that AI is already delivering financial return for customers. That's hyper important. That is hyper important. Why? I already told you guys. If there is no tangible ROI, right? If I'm a logistics company and I got trucks on the road every single day, and if I'm paying millions of dollars to implement AI, and if AI is not working, I am not going to keep spending AI. But if AI is implemented and there is tangibly real financial ROI in terms of cost savings, that, my friends, unlocks incredible demand for the entire market. And this is really good to hear. It's really good to hear that the CEO of TSMC said that AI is already delivering financial return for the customers by improving software productivity, algorithms. It's starting to really grow in our daily life. Good. Now, CC weighted that for the advanced nodes, current demand is roughly 3 times higher than their available capacity. The sold out status. Advanced packaging remains a primary constraint. Management confirms the capacity is sold out. They're doing. And then lead times are going crazy. Let's see what they say about the photo mask and substrates. I'm going to try to find some. And then what's also cool is that you can look at this stuff and then you can find like some deep experts, like engineers, PhDs that spent their whole life on these kind of products. And you can just like hit them up and ask them questions. So I'm going to try to find us a photo mask and substrate expert and maybe get them on stream so that we can just grill them with questions around like what's happening in the space and if this bottleneck is real or not. I want to do that for photo mask, substrates, optics, cables, all kinds of things. All right. The earnings call confirmed that the complexity of the new chip, the cost breakdown confirmation. CFO noted that roughly 10 to 20% of the massive $52 to $56 billion budget is earmarked for, boom, here we are. Here's themes. Advanced packaging, testing, and photo masking. So, and all 3 of these are categories of stocks. There's advanced packaging stocks, there's testing stocks, and then there's photo masking stocks. Banker. Next, pricing power. TSMC reported that implemented pricing hikes for nodes below 5 million starting out to offset the rise in production costs. Makes sense. Pass through. Substrate squeeze. Commentary highlight that as nodes move from 2 toward 2. I don't know what that's. I don't even know what unit that is. The need for more complex packaging and higher layers substrates is driving up the bill of materials for every chip. Woo! I like the thesis. The only thing though, substrate sounds better, but substrate doesn't have like a very clear U.S. public stock that we can buy. It looks like it's only Japanese stocks. And I got nothing against Japan. Your boy loves matcha. Your boy loves Japan. But there are like some international dynamics around like crazy things with their government or economy, or like their yen can just like greatly transform how we like think through like liquidity and the stock performing and all that. So boom. All right. I think this is I think there's money to be made here. What y'all saying in the chat? What y'all saying? Hello, Mahir Wadekar. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. What are your thoughts on INTC, aka Intel? I think that's a really solid one. I think they focus on sort of like the advanced packaging side of things. Of course, they have that large investment in from the U.S. government, and they have like a large enough capacity. It used to be a distressed business. Now it's like, I don't know, undistressed. I just don't think it's going to be like a crazy ripper this year. And I'm always wary of stocks that have like government intervention. I don't know why. It just kind of gives me the ick sometimes. I'm not the biggest bull on it, but I think it's still like my wealth manager advised me to buy it, and I was like, I don't know, maybe not. Alex Sable, welcome back, champ. How you doing? When you see stocks with growth histories such as the ones you've shown, how do you get comfortable with growth runway valuations, assuming they're all at an all-time high? Maybe walk through how you think through whether or not these are priced in. That's a really good point. Many of them being at the leading edge. For Intel, we can look into Intel to see what's happening there. But when it comes to like valuations, like Alex, that's a really good question. It's like, realistically, how a business grows into a future valuation is likely based on their ability to hit the unit economic production targets that I think they can hit based on the pricing and the quantity, right? Like the model for P-Lab, like whatever they called it, like what's time? For Phototronics, right? The model for this is that they likely make photomask pieces of equipment. And the model shows that they are going to produce 100,000 chips or phototronic or photomask at X, Y, and Z price, $20 a pop. This is all fake math, by the way, right? What gives me conviction and their ability to continue to grow from here is that if from the commentary, from their customer demand, from conversations around like them expanding capacity, right? So a few points. If I hear that they can expand capacity, you can hear that through earnings calls. You can go to their factory and talk to folks and be like, oh, are they opening up a new building? Are they opening up more assembly lines? If they're increasing capacity, if the customers are buying in to that new capacity that will come online soon, and if they can maintain pricing, my historical model of how many units and price that they can achieve has now been completely re-rated. So now the stock being valued at $2 billion was fairly priced if they were going to do 100,000 units at $20 a pop. But now with the demand that we're seeing and the new capacity that's coming online, the math has completely changed. They now have capacity to do 200, 300,000 units now at a higher price, $25 a pop, $30 a pop. And with that, roughly that is a very compelling growth story. And the market will see that. The market will do its math, especially the smart folks, and they will realize that like, wow, this is no longer a $2 billion business. This has the potential runway to be a $10 billion business, a $20 billion business. Why? Because they've proven a track record of having a really good positioning in the market, really good at executing on expanding capacity. And every time they expand capacity, customers buy it up immediately. They start to develop pricing power. And the next thing you know it, It is not like yesterday's price is not today's price. That's my favorite quote, W quote. Yesterday's price is not today's price. You know? So when there are facts in the growth story that hint at a complete upgrade of the operating business model, that's when we get crazy rips in already all-time highs. Now, is there any way to have the scope on pricing and quantity without resources, connections in the space? Let's try to find it for P-Lab together. And as we do that, hold on, guys. Let me see. I had to make sure that we had anything else that we had to lock in and do. And as we do that, let's try to see together. All right. Let's see their presentations. Here's an investor presentation here. Boom, boom, boom. Semiconductor market, right? That's like the high level. So now we get to know what they do. This is what they do. And this is all free, publicly available. You just got to go to any company's website and go to investor relations. And this is their unit economics. They have two business lines, IC and FPD. I don't know what those really mean yet, but those are kind of two big products they sell. And then within those, there is different categories, a high-end and the mainstream, right? High-end versus mainstream. And for your model, you're essentially going to have IC high-end, IC mainstream, FPD high-end, FPD mainstream, and you're going to have like your set of projections based on what you think they're going to buy or produce and sell. And then you can grow that simply based on the market growth assumptions that they have here, right? They have market growth assumptions based on how you can maybe grow it based on how like the semiconductor thing's growing. Or what's another good way to get visibility into like units and stuff? Usually like in their earnings call, someone will kind of ask a slick question like, well, how many units of the high-end mainstream did you guys make? And they'll say like, oh, 20 units of this, 20 units of that. Like somewhere there's like unit economics. And then you just got to have like a bet on it, right? And you got to have your growth assumptions based on like something that's useful. A good free resource, a really good free resource is like I wanted something for free. There's free and lazy and free and scrappy. If I want it to be like free and scrappy, I would go on LinkedIn. I would try to like hit up workers in the space, workers at the customers, and try to get a sense of like, hey, do you think this market is growing X% or X%? Higher or lower? Or do you think that like I wouldn't, you can't like ask specific unit economic numbers and stuff, that's illegal. I would just ask like a very high end. Like say for example, we reached out to someone that was a customer and they were able to answer our call and we asked them, what are your thoughts on the market growth? Do you think it's higher or lower than 15%? And they're like, no, it's definitely 50. Boom. That's a good data point. Right? But if you're like an individual investor, you just got to pay attention to the earnings transcripts, because that's where a lot of like the private data then becomes public data, and then build your model for there. But the other thing too, though, is like, keep in mind, these type of reports come out every single quarter, right? So if they come out every single quarter and these are printed, just track it. You know what I'm saying? So Alex, you can like track it. So I would literally pull up and download every single report like this from fourth quarter 25, third quarter 25, second quarter 25, first quarter 25, fourth quarter 24, literally all the way to like 2022. And then just see based on the data where things are trending. You can take an average of that maybe and make a conservative haircut. And that's your growth assumptions. Granted, that's like not the cleanest, but it works. Oh, Perplexity is also good at this? Oh, sick. Yeah. Use Perplexity. Or our amazing friends at Gemini. Shout out to freaking Google Gemini, y'all. things. Something I struggle with is finding differentiation from publicly available data when investing. Which you also got to keep in mind is that not a lot of investors, especially retail investors, are doing this kind of work, bro. Like, it's a small minority of folks doing this kind of work. Like, the normal investor buys things that she or he hears from like the barbershop or their Uber driver or like Thanksgiving dinner. And that it's usually like 6 quarters late of a thesis, you know? The fact that we're doing this and we're kind of getting in the weeds of the pulse already puts us ahead, you know? But that's why it also pays to be very niche in one sector. It's very hard to keep a pulse on something like semis and then also keep a pulse on something like Coca-Cola and then also keep a pulse on something like gaming stocks, right? It's very hard to do that. That's why it's like typically when you work at a hedge fund, you're in one industry group, one industry coverage. So therefore, like you're literally like, this is the only thing you spend 100 hours a week on, semis. You go to the same conferences, speak to the same people, you start to develop a repertoire of folks, you know? That's why like doubling down on sector has an edge. Gemini needs a sponsor. Hex, yeah. W that. That'd be really cool though. I don't even know if are they allowed to? Well, yeah, they are. I guess. I don't know if that's like a team. Hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna show you guys how I get brand deals. Is there somebody? There's Gemini Marketing. Chief Brand Builder. Maybe there's not a specific person focused on Gemini. Sometimes they have like specific teams. But I'm trying to find a brand deal. All right. Thoughts on the role of a junior analyst at an investment shop, given everything that you've been able to uncover with AI, also with new tools such as Claude? So I think the role of a junior analyst at, say, a hedge fund, for example, right? Also, let me keep it practical, right? Like, let me go full screen for y'all. Say, for example, I put an application out for chat capital analyst position. Now we're in the world of 2026. What is it I would expect you all to actually do as like a hedge fund analyst for chat capital? It'll be less about building models, pulling filings, and reading through things. Why? I can literally tell Gemini, share current tab. Why? Oop, share current tab. Well, something about this one they can't share. But I would literally tell it to like summarize this entire thing for me, right? When back in the day, it used to take days for an analyst to do. So I don't need you to do that anymore. What I need you to do, I need you to be scrappy. I need you to be creative, and I need you to find us an edge. Like realistically, the most amazing junior analysts in the entire world are for folks that don't take no for an answer, that always find an answer, and that are willing to jump on a plane to get an edge. What do I mean by that? If I'm like, we need to know everything there is to know about photomask to see whether or not we should buy or short Phototronics, I want someone that is willing to speak to every single university professor that specialized in designing photomask from an academic lens to help us understand what is truly the best-in-class approach towards designing photomask, to help us understand the design layer, right? And then I want them to be speaking to all the customers, having customer calls with GOG and alpha sites, banging out those calls, asking them a bunch of questions, taking all the data from those questions and putting it into a very good summarized thesis of where the market's headed. We need to be going to all the conferences, speaking to all these players and trying to get a sense of who is tackling the shortage and who is falling behind, who's pivoting, all kinds of things, and putting that into a sound, concise investment thesis. And then, of course, having like the financial acumen to be able to like build a quick model based on everything that they've learned to say that I think based on everything here, the actual units, the actual pricing they're going to be able to unlock is more in this direction. Like, look, we don't need to be 100% precisely correct. We just need to know that it's more in this direction instead of this direction, because that then is alpha. Why? Because 97 out of the 100 conversations we had said that demand is likely going to be for this particular quarter and this particular chip 60% instead of 15. So I think we need to load up on this stock. That's the kind of work that I think a really good junior analyst needs to do. You need to be scrappy as heck. Legally. Right? Scrappy as heck. Legally. All right? That's the play. And you also just need to be obsessed with businesses. Like, you can't be a casual bystander reading docs like Phototronics, Photomask, and thinking about the difference between the wafer, the reduction lens, and then the photomask, and be bored. You got to be very curious about this. The best investors in the world are naturally extremely curious. Naturally very curious. Hello, Skittles bag. How you doing? New here. Been watching your business playlist recently. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. And for all you guys, thank you all you guys for ever watching any of my videos. I love that. Do you own any business yourself or used to? Yeah. I used to sit on boards in portfolio, like deal-wise, I think like 7-8 deals. Big companies. And then we're closing on a really, really, really good one. Fingers crossed in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And it's like for the private equity folks and business buying folks, it's a really good process when towards the end, which we're approaching towards the end, like we're already having conversations, me and the owner spoke for like an hour today, strategizing what we're doing first week of February for the business. We literally went employee by employee and we outlined what is it that they're working on, what can we automate or outsource, and then once we free up capacity, where can we have them working on for higher leverage, higher margin, higher revenue generating task? Little things like that. We're talking about the culture. How can we like retain talent? How can we like tackle the new pipelines? Little things like that. Like when you're starting to pivot from a diligence and crazy legal closing to now collaboratively thinking together, how can we excel and grow this business? You're in a good spot. So wish me luck, guys. Basically, they need to become as much of an expert as they can in that subfield. Precisely. And not just from a academic lens, but simply from like a pattern recognition lens, to where there's different stages of that, right? Like you need to identify the most needle moving facts in the industry. You need to identify the best sources for those needle moving facts. And then you need to find the best, you need to like see what the latest stats is of those sources. And then you need to like consolidate all of that stuff into a concise point of view going forward from an investor lens. And to do that, you need to understand what is the market pricing in based on all the available sources, and is there a mispricing in the market? Like, is there a mispricing in the market? That is what's key. Do I think obsession beats talent? Every freaking time, hothead. Every time. Because obsession is going to be what keeps you going when it doesn't work out 9 times out of 10, but then you only needed to go one more time for you to work out and be great. That's what obsession is. Obsession is simply love for the game. Guys, if I made $10,000 per year investing, I would still do it. If I made $10 billion a year investing, I would still do it. It is simply a video game for me. Very much. I think all the people that have been here for the last week and a half since I started streaming, they very much know my vice in life is business and investing. I am addicted to this. I love businesses and investing. Like I am, it's like I don't even know if there's a word beyond obsessed. Whatever that is, that's me. You know? Alex says, ever think about recruiting for hedge funds as you were transitioning out of PE? Heck yeah. 100%. PE is, it's you make good money, but the key about PE is like it's very safe. Like if you're really good at deals, processes, courting management teams, and like consolidating like private information and making a bet based off of that, like it's a really good safe bet, really good pay. But hedge funds, that's where it's just like if you're an intellectual junkie, you jump into that. The only thing that's tricky about a hedge fund is the volatility. The churn in hedge fund is like incredibly higher. You could have a job one day and the next quarter you're gone just because you missed earnings. And private equity is never like that. And I got a whole family, not like kids, but like my family back home. I support them and everything. And it's like I had to have like a really good, solid stability, and I want to have good savings to like build this stuff. So there were times where I really wanted to jump to hedge funds, but it just like it's like a really intense risk, career stability wise, that I wasn't willing to take a bet. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Will Nye and Dries. What's up, legend? Welcome back. Welcome back. How we doing? What do you mean we only have $409 in AUM? Let's run it up. What y'all got, man? Donate to chat capital. Everybody put up. Nah, but literally last week we were at 100. We literally 100% grew in 1 week. Imagine if you put that in your model. Keep projecting. keep it going. But don't think we're about to be stuck here. We're gonna get to $1 million. I don't know when, but we're gonna get to $1 million, yo. Alex, I love these questions. What are the overlaps between working in PE versus publics? I think the big overlap is the pattern creating and dissecting of the data you collect. Like in publics, all the data is like it's hard to get all the data because they're public, and like you can't disclose certain things when you're public. So you got to kind of like get close enough anecdotally to the data to draw patterns. In privates, literally all the data is in one big old file, a data room. But both on the public and private side, you have to just like dissect all of that stuff to figure out like what is the answer, what is the play. I think that's key. It's like the thought, the experience, and the journey of building an investment thesis is apples to apples. The key difference is the access to data. The other key difference is like how much time you spend doing like process work versus like thinking work. Like in a hedge fund, you're kind of just like sitting there thinking all day. Like literally this stuff, we're just obsessing over this. Like let me tell you something that a hedge fund investor would read. Look at this. This is something that a hedge fund investor would read, right? Let me think. Photo mask. Something like this. Right? Some very weird stuff like this. What is this? So, okay, so these are like, if we went to this thing, this is like a conference in Japan that is all about photo mask in Japan, right? Look at all the presenters here from all these different companies, universities, ASMLs from different countries, right? Like this is something that's like, as a hedge fund investor, I would go to this and learn. And then plus, these are all my key contacts that I need to be meeting. I need to be meeting all these people to understand what's happening in photogenic or photo mask, right? And these people are giving presentations based on like what's happening with photo mask. And it's like, I need to be super tight with Mizuki Sakamoto from University of Tsukuba, right? To really understand photo mask applications and fusion and all this other stuff. Granted, I want to focus on the ones that are related to AI chips. So someone here probably knows really a lot about AI chips, but I would just dive deep into that stuff. You know? Let's see what this one is. Here's an amazing academic research article that talks about next generation photo mask products. Learning about this. Like, what is this machine? How many of these machines do they produce? How much does this machine cost? Is this machine the bottleneck within AI? Is everyone trying to get their hands on an HSS 1000 model? And if so, how much does it cost to produce this? And then hey boys, and this is where we get deeper. Is there a supplier of a key component within an HSS that's a different business that's also public that is soon to be in a shortage? Because when everybody runs out of HSSs, they're going to say, can you produce more? And then they're going to go to the supplier of an HSS like handle or light or sensor, because this thing looks pretty big, and they're going to be like, that's the next shortage. That's the next play. Like, that's what a hedge fund investor would do. And you just piece together all these data points. You're doing all these things. You're talking to all these people. Like, granted, all this stuff is like hypothetical. Like, none of the stuff that I talked about is like actually related to photomask right now in terms of like what's happening. I got to do the homework. and this type of work takes months to do, guys, like weeks to months, you know? But it's like, so isn't this fascinating? Do you guys like this? This is fascinating. This is smart money moves, you guys. It's so cool. It's so dang cool. We literally started, look at how we started, y'all. Look at how we started. We started by just like trying to understand why are Asia stocks on a rally because of TSMC. We then went to TSMC's earnings. We looked at the earnings call. We realized when we summarized it with Gemini that one of the bottlenecks outlined is photomask. We then found out a good photomask company. This one, they also have a report based on what happened, a presentation. So now we know a little bit about photomask. You see how you just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper? It's so sick. Will Nye says, love the investing in business game as well. Heck yeah, dude. You're a shred lord. All you guys are shred lords. And then the simplest way to think about the company investment game is that it's just Monopoly. After a point, the money is just the score. Literally, it's a video game, bro. It's really just a video game. It's really just a video game. Like, I want to prove to myself that I can do some digging and be right about a bet. How did you come up with the name Dreamline? I don't know. I'm a big dreamer. Dreamline is kind of like anecdotally setting a very audacious goal for your life and then setting the roadmap to get there, you know? And like having an unwavering approach towards reaching that goal. And that really applies a lot to some of like the business owners that I acquire companies from, right? They set out a vision for their business. And when they started their business, they didn't have an exit path in mind. They started with a business or with a vision of like growing and making an impact with their product service community. And like Dreamline, our tagline is like, we are the next stewards of your legacy. So whatever that vision and trajectory was when you started the company, you got old, you're out the game, you sell to us, and we are that next steward of your legacy. Meaning that we're going to take care of your team, we're going to take care of your customers, we're going to do all this jazz, and let us set the next line of that dream and the legacy. And that's kind of how Dreamline came to play. It's really cool. So when I'm buying business, it's like I spend a lot of time having conversations with the ownership, discussing and highlighting how I'm going to like only accelerate what they wanted to accomplish and not deteriorate anything that they've built. The worst thing you can do in a private equity world is like be value destructive. Go in, fire people, change products, all that stuff. Like a great business has been operating really well for a reason. So don't change it. Don't fix anything. So like when I'm closing on this deal, my only objective for the first 6 months to a year is to be incrementally value add and get everybody in the office coffee. Like that's my role as the new owner, right? Because something has worked that I don't want to mess up. And now I incrementally want to add more value, right? So hopefully that helps. Highhead. Amazing question, Highhead. You're so young, but you ask such incredible questions. You should be very proud of that, bro. You should be extremely proud of that. I'm proud of you, Highhead, for just like thinking about these things and to being so young. Do you play poker? It helps with business? I should, right? I really should play poker. I don't know if we can, well, maybe we can play like online poker that's non-gambling style, like on chat one day. I figured we're going to play the games and video game stuff like on Fridays and weekends. During the week, we got to crank, boys. We got to crank. We got to get smarter. We got to make these moves. Games isn't going to get this $409 to a million. It's learning about these phototronics and photo mask. You know what I'm saying? But on the weekend, like starting tomorrow, we're gonna play some Arc Raiders and some games and maybe some poker. I need to though. I'm really big into like the psychology of investing as well. Where'd you find these docs? I just like kind of, what did I do? I kind of, my cheat code for a lot of these things is to do like file type PDF, because then it only produces like PDF reports or something. And it allows me to kind of just like have a really good sound, like academic oriented article. So that's kind of like my cheat code. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Can you the goat dropping gems? Thank you so much, Juan. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. Rich topic. I play poker, and to be honest, kind of does, just because your aces doesn't mean you should play your hand. Yeah, board not working in your favor. See, you guys are just all so well-rounded and smart on these things. That's so cool. Thoughts on franchise roll-ups? Oh, so like one of my favorite ones is like, who bought up all those Dave's Hot Chicken? Like, they crush it. Who did that? Do you guys know? Was it Work Capital? Yeah, Work Capital. Yeah. These guys are some dogs. I think there's only like 3 to 5 really good roll-up players. And these guys crush it. Work Capital, Garnet Station Partners, probably some smaller guys as well. I think it's really good. The unit economics are really good at that level. It's really hard at the like individual retail level to like, it's really hard at the individual retail level to like crush it completely with like franchises, you know? I think franchises is a really good play when you got crazy cash and you just want to like clip something that just like gives, it's like a good dividend stock kind of. Like you won't get crazy upside returns. Like you're going to get crazy upside returns acquiring all of the franchises, like how the private equity folks play. But if you're just like a rich millionaire buying Taco Bells and stuff, that's a great dividend play. Because you're going to be around for a while. You're not going to get crazy growth, but like you're going to be able to clip some good cash flow. You know what I'm saying? Edwin says, with this micro cap we got, would it be worse to invest in a small company? I think, like, my opinion is small cap stocks are so much better to invest in because it's less crowded of a name and it does have crazy upside potential. Also downside potential as well. But think about it this way. It is a lot easier to go from $2 billion market cap to $200 billion market cap than it is to go from $200 billion market cap to $2 trillion market cap. Right? That's why small cap's fascinating. Because like once you get to a certain market cap and size, it's just like everyone and their mama is invested in the name. All the institutional investors are in the name on one side or the other, short or long. And eventually, like it's all a market, right? Eventually you start to hit a really true equilibrium of based on the available data, like what the true like price is. Aren't small caps super volatile? Heck yeah, very volatile. But that's also where you can get alpha and edge. Because for a small cap, the lack of coverage and the lack of information on it can sometimes give you a really good edge. Right? Like here's an example. TSMC and NVIDIA. These are really big companies that are, like, let's look at TSMC's market cap. TSMC is, what's their market cap? $1.5 trillion, right? $1.5 trillion market cap. And there literally is every single equity research analyst covering the stock. They're at all the conferences. Everything that could be known about TSMC, everyone already knows. Is the only delta is what you think about it, right? Versus a small business like P Labs, which now we realize is only a $2 billion market cap, and I'm not condoning buying this. We're just doing some research of a hypothetical piece of the value chain. There is likely like no analyst coverage. So hedge fund investors can't just get a quick research report and get smarter on the name. You got to do the work yourself, right? You got to go to conferences yourself. And the lack of ready to go published information right in front of you creates such advantage for the people willing to do the work. That is what's fascinating, because a stock price is a reflection of all of the available information. The thing about small caps is that the available side of the information piece is very like vague and dirty, not like in a bad way, right? Think about the available pieces of information on a NVIDIA. It is completely polished, organized, put together by every single bank in the entire world and all their research teams. The available pieces of information for Phototronics, bro, you got to do so much nitty gritty stuff to understand what actually is going on. And it's a lot of work. Some people just aren't willing to do the work. And if you're right on your angle, you got to end good. So, Edwin, that's a long-winded answer to like why I think it would be better to invest in a small cap if you're willing to do the work. If you're willing to do the work. Here's a quote. I'll show you guys. Warren Buffett sees potential in small cap stocks for individual investors with limited capital due to the market inefficiencies. You know what I'm saying? Emphasizing buying good businesses, attractive prices, both. Because there's more market inefficiencies when the available pieces of information are just like, you got to be scrappy to figure it out, you know? And Warren Buffett began his career buying small caps. You know? Don't be scared. Don't be scared, y'all. Hey, don't be scared. All right, what y'all talking about? Yeah, I play online poker every now and then. All right, boom, work. Aren't small caps volatile? Yup. What's up, Aaron? Happy TSMC Thursdays. How do you build your team after you found a solid company with good financials? Do I hire an accountant to verify or a lawyer? So if you're buying a business, I think the dream team is likely, first things first, hire a QV provider. Like that's the number one thing you should hire, because that'll allow for you to figure out, you know, if the cash flow and the growth numbers and the EBITDA and stuff is actually correct. And then from there, if you can afford it, get some commercial diligence, but if not, just do it yourself. And then just have like a sound lawyer to help with closing and all that. Are long, short shops in small caps? Heck yeah. Most of them are. Oh, yeah, not most, but like all the, like sometimes it's just like, sometimes long, short shops have so much fee revenue that they can afford to buy big data sets and like big proprietary resources that make the available information for the big names more insightful. So like they just take a play on like a NVIDIA, for example, or something else. But like good long, short shops, they make a name for themselves by swimming in the small caps. Also, content is fire. Hey, W, I appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you so much, dog. What moves small cap stocks? Usually, like what moves any stock, right? If there are more buyers than sellers, the stock will go up. If there's more sellers than buyers, the stock will go down, right? So what moves small cap stocks is typically like market inefficiencies of people buying in, and then like the thesis playing out, and then more force getting hit to the thesis, and then you start to see more and more buyers pushing the stock higher, right? But in order for the stock to continue to go higher, the thesis has to play out. So the operating metrics of the business need to actually do what people think it's going to do. Might have to go through the Russell 2000 to find a gem. No, actually though. Actually, that could be a really fun exercise. Is for us to go through the entire Russell 2000. I'm guaranteed we're going to find something. This is if you want to buy a business, want to get my first acquisition in 2026 by any means necessary. Hey, log in. First of all, get in that Discord. If y'all ain't in the Discord, get in that mother loving Discord, y'all. Let me know if y'all want the link. Hit that like button. But we got you. There's some other folks in the Discord that are like hardcore. Like the Discord consists of like shred lords that are like deep in their hedge fund bag, so they like the stocks, like which we talked about today. And then there's some folks that are deep in their business buying private equity bag. You know, so there's a lot of folks deep in that journey. It says, what would you say are the social skills that change your life? I think mine is the ability to connect with people. Everyone says that's my superpower. Every job I've ever had, they're like, you really know how to connect with people. And I was like, dang, gee whiz, thanks guys. But I think that's the number one social skill. Because what's funny is like all this work that we're doing, literally all this work, dive into this stuff, stocks, franchises, operating metrics. This is all done by incredibly smart people. Like when I tell you, like the smartest people, like you know how smart you need to be to gather all these resources, intellectually process it all, put it into a quantitative format, make a bet on it, do capital allocation and all that. Like hedge fund investors are some of the smartest people in the entire world. That's why they're paid so high. Like they make dumb bread. Like you have people that are working at a hedge fund, 24, 25, 26, making $1 million a year. It's crazy. And they're geniuses. It's like, it's unreal, right? But they have no social skills. None at all. Right? And it's like, for me, like I pride myself on just like the beauty of life is like sometimes the people you meet, and I'm obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? So while someone can get a raw data set of every single photo mask in the entire world and kind of build a point of view, I don't like that. I find that incredibly boring. So what I'd rather do, I'll just literally just go to a conference focused on photo mask in Japan and speak to every single person, become boys or homies with them. And then literally like based on what I know and what I met and what I learned from those people, make a bet that way. Like there's two diligence styles. I think there's like the hardcore diligence style where you're sitting on an Excel and like crank it through a bunch of data all day. Or it's like the scrappy diligence style where you just like find people with an answer, meet them and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Edwin, I got you. Hey, of course, I got you. Edwin, anything you ever want to know, I'm always going to answer. Can we look at Datadog? Fundamental Decence, DDOG. Yeah, let's look at that. And then what percent Alex with the Alex, you must be a finance professional. Your questions sound very finance oriented. What percent of TEV are you spending on professional fees for your acquisitions? Mine's very small. Like I only had to pay $5,000 for a QV, and then I only had to do like my lawyer fees are like 10, I think 10, 15. And it's like a multi-million-dollar acquisition. So in terms of TV, so mine's super small. I'm being very scrappy. Like I'm not paying too much on like all the other jazz and fees. I'm not hiring McKinsey to do a market study and all that stuff. I'm keeping it very, very scrappy. Chris says, what are your opinions on quant finance? That is really good for the insane genius, right? But as you guys know, I can't even figure out how to multi-stream to Twitch. I just figured out overlays. I literally just figured out how to do this freaking chat capital thing. I'm not a genius. I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a hustler. So like that's my edge. I'm definitely not a quant. My math skills, I'm solid at like calculus. Calc 2, Calc 3, not at all. You know, all these different algorithms and all that. Yeah. But it's really good if you're talented at it. If you're a really talented quant, go to Citadel, make bank. Alex, no Nepo in hedge funds? There's a bunch of Nepos. There's a bunch of Nepos in hedge funds. The most Nepos are in, I think in terms of Nepo babies, most of them are in hedge funds, actually. Because it's like, these hedge funds, like, these are just like cats that just had a bunch of bread that now pivoted to a long short, you know? And that they can hire whoever they want. They can do whatever they want. And oftentimes, they don't care where you're from, what you do. They just care if you're smart. And naturally, a lot of these hedge fund investors and finance people, like they raise their kids with these kind of conversations. Thesis building, markets, TAMs, all these kind of things. So like once a kid grows up and they're like 18, going to college, a really good college because they're loaded, and they're getting internships, it's like they naturally are just like intellectually like so ahead of people that just found out about this like a week ago. Like it's what I noticed is like there are some nepos, but some of those nepos are literally about that life because like it's the intellectual side of being an investor is in their DNA. It's really good. So, because like also in a hedge fund, it's like what I like most about hedge funds is the feedback loop is immediate. Like if you say that like in a year, the stock is going to go up 80% based on all my assumptions, in a year, you're going to find out whether you're a Nepo or not. And if you don't hit it and it goes the other way, down 80%, you're gone. Nepo or no Nepo. You know? Whereas in private equity, there's a bunch of Nepos that can just like blend in and do processes and network well. So you don't get as much of an iterative feedback if someone's really about that life. Infamous DJ, what up, twin? Welcome back. Yo, I just joined. Where you been at, bro? Where you been at? What you up to? I'm gonna have to watch all your streams. Good luck. I've streamed every day since I started. And we've been yapping, dog. Just make sure you don't miss the next ones. All right? We'll catch you all up. We'll catch you all up. We'll catch you all up. Wait, someone's oh wait. Will Nye, we want to what's your thought? Will Nye, what's your thoughts on Datadog though? What's the angle? What's the angle? You said Datadog. Let's check out the fundamentals on Datadog. DDOG. Okay, wait. So while we're gonna jump into Datadog, I gotta use the restroom really quick. I've been drinking water like crazy because I just left the gym. Give me like literally 40 seconds. All right. Michigan. Oh, Alex, I gotta tell you about Michigan. Michigan was sick. Hold on. Give me like 30 seconds. I gotta use the bathroom, guys. But while I use the restroom, of course, subscribe if you haven't freaking subscribed already. W. Smash that like button and then put in the chat what stocks we do a quick sprint look at. All right? Because we gotta start gathering some theses for Chat Capital for pitches, right? Because like I want to pitch P-Lab. I think that's gonna be a good one. Should look at DDOG. But like let me know in the chat which ones you guys think that we should be diving into and looking at. All right, give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Let's get these theses going. Utilities that are providing power to data centers. Banger idea. Let's take it up a notch. Utility service providers. People that are actually like hard hat techs that then go and service the utility networks that are connected to data centers. Huh? That's right. All right. I only missed the last few days. You missed a lot, bro. Infamous, you missed a lot, legend. A lot's been going on, twin. A lot's been going on in the world. Richard, what's up, man? You recommend starting the investing world with Robinhood? I don't know. Let me think. Is Robinhood the way to go, though? Robinhood is just like, the only thing about Robinhood is just like you're like inundated with like DGen habits. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like everywhere you go, there's literally everywhere you go, there's like trading crypto all like Robinhood has gamified investing, and I don't think that's smart. And like naturally, if like you open it up and it's just so gamified, you're naturally going to like want to trade and play games and do all those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But if you're disciplined, it's free, easy to use. But use it simply for execution. Don't be obsessed with it. Don't be watching the stock every single day. Don't be looking at the options charts and trading and all that. It's nice and free. So Michigan, go freaking blue, was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. Right? Because it won. Like, look, I'm not that smart, guys. I'm just very curious. Right? But when it comes to like natural intelligence, I don't have that. I don't know. Like, it's just not like test. Psh, I sucked at the ACT. I'm really not good at tests. My English teacher said I was going to fail. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really curious and I hustle, right? It's like, that's my edge. You know what I'm saying? But Michigan kind of gave me the academic credibility just to get into rooms that I definitely didn't deserve to be in. If I didn't go to Michigan, I would not be where I'm at today. Definitely wouldn't have worked at Blackstone. Definitely wouldn't have worked at KKR. Little things like that. So it changed my life, I think. So, and that goes for like any college. I think just like investing in an education that gives you a network that also gives you access to alumni that are doing incredible things. And if you're scrappy, you can take advantage of that. That I think that's a baller. So Chris, you're thinking about doing quant finance or IBPE because you're studying Calc 1 and Calc 2 and stats, but I don't like the coding. I really don't. So the best thing, Chris, is actually like make a LinkedIn and start networking with people on both the IB, the PE, and the quant finance side. Everywhere, literally everywhere. Like you don't have to make a decision now. What you do have to do now is like start networking with people and start literally saying like, hey guys, I'm young. I'm a junior in high school. I'm curious about this career path. Can I borrow 15 minutes of your time to ask you about a day in your life? And then you ask them all the questions you possibly can. You build relationships with them so that you can get the clearest picture when you're like really, really grown of what you do and don't want to do. That's the best way to do it. Don't jump into PE and banking because someone else says it's cool. Do it simply because you've spoke to people in that space. You've sampled enough. And you understood that like based on what you really want to build in life, it is a critical milestone or step. And then go from there. You guys agree? Will Nye says the net income, EPS, and free cash flow are growing year over year. Let's see what you're talking about. Let's go to Datadog. What does Datadog do? That's the first step. Let's try to understand what does the business actually do? Because if you don't know what the business does, there's no point of us doing it at all. So let's go. All right. AI-powered observability and security. Okay. Like, what does that mean? Their products, infrastructure monitoring, network monitoring. So what I assume is that they work with companies that have a lot of digital assets, data centers, laptops, computers, data stacks, like all these different devices, software things, and it allows for people to like observe the health of their tech stack, right? Like, I don't know, if I had a business that had 10 laptops, Datadog kind of helps me understand the pulse of all of my assets on an upkeep and running side in terms of if it's just like performing well, but then also like on the cybersecurity side, possibly, right? They got cybersecurity assets. Like they essentially just help people manage a lot of their data. Not data, but like, well, yeah, probably data, assets, digital infrastructure, all types of things, right? And just imagine for big companies like Samsung, NASDAQ, you know, HashiCorp, they have a lot of tech infrastructure out there. Oh, Slime Fruit, this is a really good question. What's your thoughts on fundraising for PE going forward? Drawing up institutional versus wealth channels, buyout as a career versus PC? Whoa, that's a lot. Let's put it top. What's your thoughts on fundraising for PE going forward? I think for mega fund PE, it's going to be harder to raise because the returns are nowhere as good as public markets. But I think for emerging managers, aka people raising like first-time funds, I think it's easier on the microcap PE side because there's still a lot of like acquisition opportunities, roll-up opportunities that are attractive. And if you can demonstrate access to deal flow, have a deal under LOI, and prove that it actually cash flows, I think you can raise for that. There's real appetite for that. But growth equity and VC, I don't think there's as much appetite for LP dollars to go into those. VC hasn't really done anything in the last 10 years. And then growth equity, it's hard to say that it's like the glory days of pre-2021 growth equity. You know what I'm saying? And then career path, if you can, like the holy grail of like finance career paths is going from private equity to hedge fund to making bank in a hedge fund. That's what people do. They go to a good school, they join banking, then they do private equity, then they join a hedge fund, and then just keep making bank and go to a different hedge fund. That's what like most uber wealthy finance hedge fund people do. But if you can start off in buyout and doing private equity, it's the best place to learn real hardcore skills. The company's making money, but they're investing a lot in R&D, so their net margins is thin. Facts. Well, to be honest, I plan to start with index funds. Heck yeah, dog. Hey, Richard, all this crap, and I could be completely wrong about all these names. You know what I'm saying? But what I won't be wrong on is a dang index fund doing 10.5% return each year. That's the play. What I won't be wrong with is a freaking index fund literally doing 10.5% a year. You can be as smart as you want. You still ain't gonna beat an index fund. Because the thing is, you can do all this work and have a really great year at hedge fund. And then next year, everything sucks and you lose half of it. But an index fund, look, 10.5, 10.5, twin. And you ain't got to do none of this work. Oh, yeah, hi, you said you're from Indiana the other day, right? I remembered. Good, Chris. Hopefully that makes sense, Chris, though. Let me know if it did make sense. There's a website called Meetup. Sometimes I see finance events where I can attend in their own cities. That's actually good. That's actually really good. They like Meetup is solid. Like I would do like if you guys are looking to build yourselves like an in-person networking community of people that are just like amazing. First, virtually do it by joining the Discord. But then also it's like try your best to just go to different events to learn and meet new people. Like if you guys are young, one of the best things you can do is get comfortable putting yourself out there in very uncomfortable positions. Meaning going to a conference or a meetup all by yourself just to learn people, learn things, and meet new people. Like that is such a useful skill set to have. Imagine the people that go their entire lives never going to a conference because they're scared because they don't want to go alone. You know, don't be that. Like get out there and like if there is a space where you can meet like-minded people that can give you so much knowledge about anything you're passionate about, not even just finance, anything, go to it, learn, put yourself out there, network, be very comfortable just like going into a room full of randoms and coming out with friends. That's a fantastic skill set. Infamous asking, Kenny, I was wondering, honest take if I should just keep investing in low expense mutual funds or look into small caps. Look, oh, you just turned 21? Last August? Happy belated birthday, twin. I'm a few months late, but we just met. Sorry. I would say, honestly, like, and you guys can quote me on this. Even though I'm a nerd and like I look at this stuff all the time, the best thing you all can do is buy an index fund. Buy it like here we go. I'm gonna start from scratch. Someone clip this. The best thing you all can do if you want to become incredibly wealthy is very simple. This summarizes every piece of any finance content in the entire world. You spend less than you earn. You build yourself an emergency savings fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Every single paycheck, you buy index funds. Not single stocks, index funds. Every single paycheck for the literal rest of your life. And you never sell. You will become insanely wealthy if you follow that simple playbook. Spend less than you earn by having a budget, build yourself an emergency savings fund and a high yield savings account, and then everything else, every single paycheck, you're buying index funds. Why? Because you can automate it. It freaking works. Because you're betting on American businesses. America's not going away. Newsflash, buddy. Right? America's not going away. American businesses aren't going away. So you just bet on that. And every single paycheck for the entire rest of your life, you do that. S&P 500 and call it a day, just like Richard said. And then what you do after that, you go touch grass. Because do you literally want to be doing what Kenny Finance is doing? Looking at Datadog, going on here and trying to understand how many high-end IC chips is this company producing? Do you guys really want to do that? Because if you want to have good alpha, you got to look at this every single day. Every single day. And I could be doing all this work and still lose to an index fund. So that's why like the best thing for like life freedom, financial freedom, and just like the stuff just freaking works. And Warren Buffett says this, so I believe it too, is simply buy index funds every single paycheck, never sell them, even in a bad market, and go touch some grass. Go to your kids' recitals or sports games. Go take a trip somewhere. Go hang out. You know what I'm saying? Go make some music. Go jump off some, go jump on the trampoline or something. Go touch some, go pet a dog. Easy dubs. Hopefully that made sense though. And I'm so serious, Infamous. I'm so serious. Yes, sir. It made sense. Aaron says, I'm in the Discord. Thank you. The first person you mentioned on your team, anybody got the spelling so I can research? Oh, first person on the team. So not really on my team. It's like an advisor that I hire for a deal. It's quality of earnings. Quality of earnings. Shoot me a DM and I connect you to the person that I used. I got you. They did good work. They're based in Texas, I think, but it was doing it for a deal in like Florida. Anyone in your Blackstone class come from state schools? Actually, no, it was they were all Ivy League, Harvard and Wharton. Besides one other guy that went to Morehouse. But it's that's a really good HBCU. So I went to Michigan, he went to Morehouse, and then everyone else was like Harvard, Wharton. Yeah, Brian, Stu, Lizzie, Ryan Bagoon. Those are all Harvard and Wharton. They had like 4 people from Wharton, 1 from Harvard, 1 Michigan, 1 Morehouse. Yeah. It's crazy. There was another person from Michigan, but on the real estate team though. At Blackstone. Save some for buying businesses. Bentley Jean, what's happening? I love that name. Bentley Jean is not a lover. Welcome to the fam, twin. Welcome to the fam. Sorry, Will 9. We got so distracted from Datadog. All right, boom. Let's get down to the mix. Let's cook. Investor relations. Pull up some stuff. Dum. Let's see. Earnings call, November 25th. Lottie dottie. We like the party. What they got? What do they got here? Investor day, financials, quarterly, the transcript, SEC filings. Let's see what you're talking about, twin. Let's see what Will 9, the science guy, is talking about. Jump here. MD&A. I want to hear about what management's talking about. This is how they make money. We generate revenue from this, and this. Unfavorable conditions in the economy, both in the United States and abroad, may have negatively affected the growth of our business. Ooh! Ouch! Ouch! For example, macroeconomic events and changes in trade policies such as trade wars, tariffs, etc. They're doing like software though. Due to our subscription model, the effect of the macroeconomic conditions may not fully be reflected in our results until future periods. That's a really bad thing to put into your thing. However, if the economic uncertainty increases or the global economy worsens, our business may be harmed. Okay, It's kind of... Has the stock been down? I have a feeling this has been down. Just gut reaction. Yeah. Based on what I've been hearing. Yeah. Well, now, why are we looking at this? Do they... I looked at their 10K. What are they up to now? What the heck? Oh, people in my class? Actually, most are still at Blackstone. My other friend, he did growth equity and then joined a African fintech startup. But it may be down, but it could be reversing. Let's see. Let's see what the thesis is. Data dog. Where that dog? Y'all got that dog in y'all? Ooh. Goldman says sell. That means Goldman says it's a bad stock to buy. They think it's overpriced. And they drop coverage. Ooh. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. This one might be chalked. I'm not going to hold you up well now. Datadog underperformed through part of 2025 primarily due to investor concern that OpenAI may reduce its level of spend. The concern surfaced in part due to ClickHouse blog post that detailed a case study with OpenAI, suggesting that OpenAI could increasingly insource observability and monitoring, meaning they don't actually need to hire someone else to do it. And that's the big problem. Like a lot of these things, the really bad thing with software businesses is that why would someone buy a software when they can do the stuff in-house by themselves? And people are realizing that with OpenAI and other like very advanced models and stuff, you can kind of do the observability internally. So you don't need to pay for Datadog. I don't know. Will and I. It might be chalked. Shift workloads to homegrown tooling, which reduces reliance. Or wait, it could also be a short. We could short this low key. There are a number of open roles at OpenAI for building observability products. They're hiring actively to, I guarantee you, Datadog people are leaving to join OpenAI. Crazy, right? This is against a backdrop of large-scale customers such as hyperscalers have brought observability in-house as their business is scaled. And select instances of large customers churn like Spotify. Ooh, okay. Datadog's OpenAI revenue is a function of committed minimum and overage in excess of this minimum. This is true for any Datadog customer. We believe the mix could be close to 85 to 15 committed versus overage. Based on management comments, the mix for OpenAI last time was higher than average. Ooh. OpenAI specifically, we believe that the total number of amount from OpenAI to Datadog that is committed will likely go up in 2026, but this does not give us insight into the future percent revenue. Okay, that doesn't make sense. I think this is a void. Like that's like commercial stuff. Like underlying fundamentals, like numbers wise, is cool to look at, but you got to understand like what's driving those numbers. And like they could be still generating strong free cash flow because they're cutting costs elsewhere. That's what you got to keep in mind. They could be cutting costs elsewhere to make sure that they keep good free cash flow margins. But fundamentally, the overall driver of the direction of that stock could be going in a completely wrong direction. So you got to be really careful with that, Will Nye. And the fact of the matter is, there is starting to become tangible proof points that customers are building observability products in-house. That's not good for this. Infamous DJ says, do you think the U.S. monetary system will change with stablecoins? I don't even know what a stablecoin is, bro. I don't even know what a stablecoin is. I'm so dead serious. That's how much I avoid crypto. I don't know what it is. I don't know what a stablecoin is. Someone explain it to me. You probably have a better thesis than me. Hold on, twins. Oh, wait, let's just Google it. A stablecoin is a cryptocurrency designed to maintain a stable value. How? Okay. Wait, hold on. Let's get this right. Hold on. We're going to figure this out together. A stablecoin is a type of cryptocurrency designed to maintain a stable value. Okay. What is a top stable coin? Tether's USD coin. Okay. So kind of like a treasury, like right? So what is US? What is Tether? Let's see what Tether is. How the heck is this stable? Oh, never mind. It is kind of stable. Yeah, like, oh, wow, that makes sense. The heck? This is so weird. There's no infamous. That gives me a headache, dude. Because it's like so out of my circle of competence. I should know about that stuff, but it's just kind of like, look, there's not that many degenerates looking at phototronics or photo mask. You know what I'm saying? Like the percent, like if I go to a conference, the percent of people that are like actually smart people, learning, intellectually curious, is like really high. Something like this. If I go to a stable coin or a crypto conference, do you know how many buttheads are there? It's just a bunch of gamblers. And I pray that none of you all that have exposure to crypto or Tether or any of these things are gamblers with it, that like you actually do fundamental research. And if you want a good person, look at this guy. He's one of my friends. He owns a crypto fund. So if you guys want any like institutional approach towards crypto, do this. Like even when we hang out, like we have like annual get-togethers for all the boys. He's there all the time, and it's like I tell him I don't know what you do. It's not a cash flowing business, so I don't want to know about it. But like if there's anyone that's like a hedge fund style investor in crypto, it's this guy. So he's a trusted like knowledge person. But then you have folks that are literally just like trying to do charts on crypto, and that's just such a waste of intellect, I think. So but you're asking a very intelligent question of like seeing how stablecoins are going to like impact US monetary policy. So you sound like someone within the stablecoin world that's like an institutional hedge fund oriented type of person. But I'm just not that guy. I just don't know anything about it. I stick to my circle of competence, and that's stocks of operating businesses and then private boring companies. So everything else, man, I don't really know, because you can't put everything in your head. I got a very small capacity in this brain. You know, Will Nye. Hopefully that I didn't want to shut down Will Nye. I didn't want to shut down the stock. I just want to make sure that we looked at it together of like what the narrative is. So now we know the narrative of Datadog, and with that, I'm staying away from that narrative. If folks are bringing it on from my bad. No. There's nothing wrong with my bad. Oh, don't ever feel bad about bringing any amazing investing topic. That was in a learning experience. I didn't know what a stablecoin was. Now I know. It's Tether. And it is kind of stable. You taught me something. So never say my bad, bro. This is a space for all smart money moves. As long as you're not in here spamming, hey, buy, boom, 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 boom. All right? If someone says that, mods, ban them. No, I don't think you guys can send links and stuff in here. Put it in the Discord, though. Put it in Discord so everybody can read it in Discord. But if it's educational for everyone's benefit to be like aware of something, absolutely. But if anyone puts a meme coin in here and says, everyone boost this up, boom, 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 I just had a meme coin IPO, you will be banned. All right? So, no, this is all a learning experience for us. Now I know what Tether is. Well, I still don't know what Tether is, actually. What is Tether? It's the largest and most popular stablecoin, a type of cryptocurrency designed to maintain stable value. Okay. Why do people use Tether? To bridge traditional finance with crypto, offering a stable digital coin for trading, hedging against this, and fast cross-border payments. Okay. For liquidity, hedging, and risk management. Nice. Like that makes sense. That's sick. You ever miss New York City? I do kinda. What I do wish though, like real stuff though, guys, I really wish that I was a content creator when I was in New York. Like when I think back about my New York days, Guys, I literally spent 90% of my time in an office or a gym or at home. Like not outside, not on weekends, not hanging out. I had a very different New York experience from a lot of people. Because like if you're in New York and you're like working in like less demanding fields, you get to actually enjoy New York. But if you're like in finance in New York, especially like investing, like private equity, you're grinding all the time. So I didn't have that great of a New York experience. Like I kind of got really sick of New York because I was like, this place is literally like a marathon. And it's cold in the winter and dark and dirty. New York is actually really dirty. Beautiful place, but it's actually very dirty. And I was just like, I gotta get away. So when I started this, I moved to the prettiest place I thought of, and that's like near the beach in Southern California. You know. So, but I do miss it sometimes. I'm gonna be back there soon. But I wish I was a content creator in New York. Because if I was like a content creator in New York, I would have been making cash and had like so much time on my hands. Like when you do content, it's like you can bang out a month's worth of content in one weekend and you're chilling the rest of the time. If you got crazy brand deals, you're literally chilling. You know? So that's why I see a lot of content creators are just like enjoying life, chilling. Like it's so cool. It's so cool. That would have been crazy. I'm telling you, Luca, if I started content freaking 10 years ago, but it sucks because Blackstone said, no, you can't make content. You got to go through all these approval processes. KKR said, no, we got to send it to our compliance team every time you post and put disclaimers all over it. Boom. F y'all. It's so annoying. I would have been in there like swimwear. Besides the U.S., where would you live? Let's look at that together. Where else would I live? Oh, I'll tell y'all. Philippines. Straight up. If I had to work, I would be in BGC. I went there in December 2024. I'm part Filipino, by the way, guys. And it's so nice and it's so cheap. My family is from Cebu. See how pretty this is? I definitely would freaking go here, live here. So I would do the Philippines. I would also do. This place is just like so pretty. I would live in Copenhagen. It's very expensive though. Not really diverse, but it's just like such a pretty European city and such a slow life. Oh, my bad. My bad. I will live in Copenhagen. Let me show you the Philippines. Cebu, Philippines. I will live here. Very affordable. Where else? Oh, easily. I will pull up and you will catch me in a freaking ancient hut in Kyoto, Japan. Oh, maybe not this. It's not. I don't think they gotta go Wi-Fi for the streams. But here, definitely. I live in Tokyo. This is one of the best trips I've ever been to. Japan is such an amazing place. And based on what we researched like last week or earlier this week, the snap elections with Japan, the yen going through what it's going through, probably going to be cheaper still. Great time to travel, guys. Great time to travel. But it's like the people are amazing. The food is incredible. Everything is affordable. It's so freaking clean. So many amazing things to do. You can go skiing in Japan. You can go to like anime conventions in Japan. Like everything that I like, they have it in Tokyo. Everything. It's so freaking cool. Infamous says, after becoming a content creator last year, do you see it as one of your callings? I feel like it's one of the coolest things that you can just share so many experiences with so many people now. Yeah, I think so. I think it is one of my callings. I think it's really fun. Because you guys don't know this, but like you're like my accountability partners. Like I look forward to hopping on stream to like learn together. And it compounds over time. Right? And it's like I'm learning how to like literally public speak about very in-depth advanced topics with our really cool audience every single day. And that's a force function that's like really cool, especially on the streaming side. But then on like the long form YouTube video side, I get to take like really, really, really big topics and businesses that I'm so interested and curious about and craft it into an incredible story that I think will be entertaining and knowledgeable for people. Like the vids that are coming out, like back half of this year and later this quarter and stuff, they're about to be so insane, guys. It's about to be so, it's going to feel like Netflix movies. Literally going to feel like Netflix movies. Moving to Japan to become the next samurai. Hey, yeah, dog. They even have a samurai shop in Japan. They got like real samurai shops. Y'all about to see me. You're about to see Kenny Finance on stream on something like this. Imagine if I was in Japan streaming and like in my background, I have one of those things. Wouldn't that be so sick? Oh yeah, PewDiePie just moved to Japan. Yeah. And bro, PewDiePie has the life, dude. He crushed it with YouTube. He's still living off his back catalog. Guy's sitting on absolute bank. And then moves to Japan with his wife and kid and just lives a nice, quiet life. That is sick. I'm not gonna hold y'all up. Do not enjoy me while you got me. All right? Enjoy me while you got me, guys. Because when the content blows up and goes crazy, first of all the money from the content is gonna go into investing. And then like once we get to like 4 to 5, maybe like 5 portfolio companies for Dreamline, each doing crazy numbers of cash flow each year. Bro, you about to find me literally in middle of nowhere, Kyoto. GG's. I'm about to be chilling with my kids. Like touching grass, you know? You might even see me. No, I told y'all what I'm doing. We already talked about this. Don't act like I was joking about this. We literally talked about this. When the portfolio companies are doing what they got to do, y'all literally about to be seeing me.
That's all we've got to eat right now.
Survival challenge. What a boys. Yeah, doggies. Richard, I am so dead serious. That is going to be my life. I'm going to be in like some amazing, beautiful place somewhere in the world. I'm about to be sitting, hiking the beautiful, I am going to experience what the world is supposed to be experienced. I'm not going to be collecting bags for my shawty. I'm not about to be freaking spending time reading freaking 10 Qs every day. I'm going to literally all my money's going into index funds or cash on businesses. You know, I'm not about to be trying to buy some cool shoes or fancy G-Wagons. No, I'm going to adopt a very minimalist lifestyle where it's full of adventure and memories. But it just happens in the background that I'm compounding millions in a holding company. Because that's what's beautiful about it. Like once you have the system of a holdco, like that's what I love most about it. If you have a system of a holdco and you buy enduring businesses that are recession resilient, they just continue forever, theoretically. And you have the main holdco buying private businesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, each of them doing $1 million of cash flow each year after debt, right? So $5 million for the cash flow each year. You put all that just into index funds that grows 10% a year. And you just like keep rinsing and repeating that every single year. That mushroom effect over the long haul is ridiculous. So while that mushroom effect is balling, I'm about to be figuring out how to start fires in Bali. You know? So enjoy me while you got me, Chris. You guys got to enjoy me while you got me. Dang, we learned so much today. We really learned so much today, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you up. I think the areas where I want to spend a little bit more time is P-Lab. I want to get smarter on this. Like I need to call a professor or something and just have them like teach me something or like look up a college report or something like that. We learned about TSMC and what's happening there. And then long moral of the story is like stocks are growing. Things are ripping. Phototronics are balling. Oh, I promised that we were going to look at the Blackstone thing, right? So Blackstone put out a report that has their 2026 investment perspectives. And I guess this is essentially from looking at all of the data in the world, the portfolio companies, the real estate assets, what is happening. And they said AI is rewiring the investing landscape, bet, driven by multi-year capex in data centers, powers, chips, and connectivity, funded by large cash flows, not debt, while laying the foundation for future productivity. I like that. Growth remains resilient but uneven, supported by strong balance sheets, improving margins and monetary ranges. Cooling inflation is giving central banks room for interest rates to lower interest rates. Good. That's good. That could mean that the private equity boom is back once rates go down. Private markets are poised to benefit from these mega trends. AI, digital infrastructure, energy transition. I like that. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds very similar to what they used to say in other ones. Not saying no, the thesis just continues to play. For AI, the main thing, it's taken off like wildfire. This chart just shows that how many months it took to reach 100 million users in ChatGPT. 2. Nice. Hyperscalers, these are like the Googles and Microsofts of the world. How much are they spending on AI? Growing. CapEx as a percent of revenue. Growing. Blackstone surveyed CEOs increasing AI-related software spend. That's really good data. Okay. This is the U.S. portfolio company growth. Non-corporate business interest expense going down. Nice. U.S. hotel room growth per available room. Oh, hotels are going crazy. Oh, so this is interesting. Luxury hotels are doing better than economy hotels. That's how you know people just got bread to spend. And the Blackstone CEOs experiencing hiring challenges, that's gone down. That's a really good proof point. That is a really good proof point that the labor shortage is going down. It used to be a really ridiculous labor shortage crunch, but now it's easing. Blackstone U.S. portfolio wages. Oh, really? That's been going down. That's weird. Yeah. This is public, guys. You can just go on Blackstone's website and look up wages and all that. Japan yields, opportunities in private markets. Any alpha here. Any alpha. The deal dam is breaking. They call this deal dam, like just like no PE deals are getting done. But like with rates going down, deal activity should pick back up. This is what I like to see. I like to see the real estate stuff. Values have reset, offering attractive absolute relative value. Interesting. All right, what about data centers? Anything about data centers? Here we go. Powering the AI build out. Infrastructure is in a super cycle. Linked investments, U.S. reindustrialization. An estimated $106 trillion global infrastructure investment is needed through 2040. That's a good micro theme or macro theme. Digital infrastructure, power generation, transportation, and renewables. AI adoption and electrification. Wow. Sizing the infrastructure opportunity. Boom, boom, boom. Private infrastructure, public equities. Dang, private infrastructure funds have done better than public equities. Whoa. And that's that. All right. That's pretty solid. We're kind of already in mix with that. Hopefully that was useful for you guys. But, homies, we learned so much, y'all. Tomorrow, if you guys have stocks ideas, put it in the Discord, and we're gonna add it to Chat Capital. Pitch day. We're gonna do a pitch day. I think Saturday or Sunday. But add the ones you guys are interested in to the chat and Discord. But I appreciate you boys rocking with me tonight as we tried to make some intelligent smart money moves. This was a bundle of fun. We learned so much. The cutest thing in the entire world was my little nephew joined the stream for like 5 minutes before his bedtime. And you guys blessed him with incredible wisdom and insight to be an absolute shred lord like every single one of you guys. So W's in that. I appreciate all of you guys. If you haven't already, do yourself the biggest favor in the entire world and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And get your friends and family and mama too. But as always, this is the place where we learn, we grow, we learn about intelligent things, and we try to just make sound financial judgment for the long haul, for our future and our future kids and grandkids, etc. This literally is the workshop. This literally is headquarters for generational wealth. Why? Because we're getting this stuff out the mud. We're building in public, and we're doing it with all the homies. This is so freaking dope. So I appreciate literally every single one of you guys jumping into the stream, commenting, having some fun in the chat. We're going to be right back here tomorrow. 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern time. Hope everyone has an incredible night. Wake up tomorrow and be thankful that You have an able body, a curious mind, an amazing set of friends and family. And you always got me and you always got the rest of this chat. But this is fam. Shout out to all of you guys. And I had so much freaking fun today. It was so freaking dope. And we might have found one of the best small cap stocks that we should rock with. So good night, gents. Good night, ladies. And hopefully you guys continue to join tomorrow. And I will catch you guys later. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And peace and love, short lords.